Hello, it's Scott Manley here, and we are visiting M45, better known as the Pleiades. Yes, the Seven Sisters, a very obvious star cluster in our sky. Now, most of the stars in the Pleiades are like B-type stars, very bright, very blue, and they're about 100 million years old. But in Elite Dangerous, some interesting things have been going down there. So a number of unknown artifacts have been getting discovered deep in interstellar space, and it turns out that these things have been pointing towards one of the stars within the Pleiades cluster. So a space station was set up, Obsidian Orbital. It's obviously an oscillus starport, one that's designed to be able to move easily from one star system to another. This was set up to investigate what was going on. So people began delivering these unknown artifacts to this location. Then the orbital had some sort of issues. Things started failing. And then something even more interesting was discovered. Some sort of interesting alien life that when, people decided to interrogate it using guns. And some of the stuff that was dropped was a material called meta-alloys, which has been brought back to the starport, and supposedly a scientist at the starport has used these to fix the strange problems that have been occurring. So, unknown artifacts, they are found around, they're found in like 100 light-year sphere surrounding the Pleiades star cluster. If you're flying with those in your ship, they make some really weird sounds, and they will break your spaceship. So carrying them for any great distance is kinda dangerous, but people have been doing that. And they've been carrying them here because, of course, they were worth a lot of money, and people were really curious as to what they were. Anyway, I'm out here in my trusty Asp Explorer, the ship of choice for people that want to travel long distances unless they have way too much money, in which case they could kit out an Anaconda and do better. But this does a pretty good job. This one will easily jump 30 light years, and it has a nice little view downwards so I can see the ground when I'm landing. There we go, isn't that beautiful? So, we're here. What can we do? Well, let's take a look at these news reports that I've been talking about. So if you know Elite, there is a site called the Galnet News, and they will publish ongoing updates on what's going on in the game. And there's some really interesting clues that come out of this. You can see the Galnet News in-game, so yeah, hourly update, economic speculation, blah blah blah. Community goal, Professor Ishmael Palin issues request for meta-alloys. A remarkable discovery was made last week when non-human structures were found on a number of planets in the Pleiades Nebula. These barnacles, as the galactic community has christened them, produce a material known as meta-alloys, the exact properties of which are not yet known. So yeah, this is going to be a community goal. The idea is this professor wants to investigate these things, and the only way to get them is to find these alien life forms, shoot them, and take the harvested meta-alloys back. We've got some more news on the ongoing story of the Antares, which was a spacecraft that got lost and apparently was destroyed as it exited hyperspace. More starports fall victim to the technological plague. Ackerman Market, Garinga, and down there I see one very important one, Robigal Mines. Now, many of you may not have heard of Robigal Mines, but if you've really been paying attention of how to make money as a smuggler, Robigal Mines was probably near the top of your list of favourite stations, and we'll actually discuss that in a bit. If I look at the bulletin board, well, we're expecting a community goal here. The station is owned by, or operated by, the Anthill Mob. And there we go, meta-alloys appeal. So what they want is to collect meta-alloys. They've already collected 5,000 tons! Crikey, that's quite a lot. I'm not sure what the reward is right now, but I'm going to be really interested in what happens here, so I'm going to do a little bit of this. So sign me up for this. Now you'll also see this Shadow Deliveries, 3 million credits, that's a lot of money for basically a cargo transport mission only transporting 7 tons. Part of it is that is an illegal material, but the other side of this is that Obsidian Orbital is way the heck out in the middle of nowhere, so you have to carry that stuff 200 light years. Now, Robigo Mines is another location which is essentially in the middle of nowhere, so people have been going out to this station, picking up a bunch of smuggling missions and then bringing them back to known space. It's several hundred light years they have to travel, but they're making easily 20 to 30 million credits per run if they have a decent ship with decent cargo space. You see, there's a lot of these here. Obviously, you quickly build up familiarity with these people. I'm not going to do this right now because I am going for the barnacles. I'm going to go barnacle harvesting. So let's launch. We're going to head out to Merope. I'm probably not pronouncing that right, but I do know that she is one of the 7 sisters who were, you know, of course, fantastically attractive because they were goddesses, and Orion really dug these girls. There were 7 of them, and he kind of pursued them romantically, and Zeus was asked to protect them, so he turned them into stars. And there you go. Merope is also the faintest of the stars because she was the one that married a mortal. Anyway, I'm hardly an expert on Greek mythology, so let's actually talk about the Robigo Mines run. So, as I pointed out, you know, you could travel out to this station, make a lot of money, and some players didn't think this was particularly fair. They wanted people to be grinding the money out or whatever. So, some people got together, would you believe, and started transporting these unknown artifacts to Robigo Mines. And of course, that's why it's suffering technical problems. And the last I looked, it is shut down, and somebody was claiming responsibility for it. I actually find this quite amusing because, of course, people have figured out how to cause trouble for other players in a game which can essentially be played offline. So the online component is what's causing people grief. People say that Elite is a shallow game, but I think that it's true that some players have bigger spades than others. Anyway, we are at Merope, and I know the place that I want to go is Merope 5C. There are people that have compiled locations of all these, and 5C there is a specific barnacle. They have coordinates and it respawns. When you're when you're close to the planet, you can actually see your latitude and longitude, and I'm going to use that to guide myself to the target. It's good to try and do this while you're still in space, because as soon as you drop out of frameshift drive, you're going to slow down a whole lot. So if you look next to my altitude, or if you look where my altitude gauge is on the right, at the bottom underneath that, that is the coordinates there, and then underneath that is the gravity of the planet. So I'm just going to head over this way because I think this is roughly in the right direction. I've been here a couple of times before, but if you want to know the coordinates, it's something like -26, -56, or thereabouts. That's where it's currently spawning. There are others that spawn at predetermined locations, and apparently there are a number which spawn randomly, but the ones that spawn at predetermined locations don't have the blue, you know, point of interest signature. There we go. I love the sound of this. The ASP, I really like the ASP. Of course, I'm a big fan of the Cobra, but the ASP, because it has an extra weight to it, it's certainly not one that I want to take into combat, but as an exploration ship, it's fantastic. It does everything that I need, and it carries a whole lot more. Anyway, we're going to go exploring and look for barnacles. Okay, I think I'm going to try flying through these canyons, because it's always fun trying to fly through canyons. Look at that. Ooh, is there anything in that? Nope. Be careful to always keep using the strafe up command to make sure that you don't actually fly into anything. It's just like Beggar's Canyon back home. Okay, I know we are getting close now because these coordinates are almost matching. And I think I might be hearing something strange here. It might be just my imagination. I'm not used to the sound of the frames or the engines on the ASP. But it definitely seems there's some sort of weird whining. There it is. You hear it? Is that the engines? Or is that the aliens? Well, there it is. I see them. There it is. That is a barnacle right there. Like a central structure surrounded by a number of spines. See these? Yeah, I'm not really sure if that's the engine or the spacecraft, but look at that. It is alien life. And there are other strange sound effects that come out of this. The ambient noise that these things make is cool.
Landing gear deployed.
Okay, let me put this down somewhere when I can find it. Okay. Well, it turns out that I can't land close to it, so I'm going to put my spacecraft down over here and head out for a little drive. Let's get this Scarab on the road. I haven't actually done much exploring with the Scarab since Horizon launched. I did a lot in the beta, but I haven't really gone farming of materials or anything. I think it's probably good to do some farming of materials just because it's always useful to have things like hyperdrive or frameshift boosters available so it can jump a lot further. And as it happens, the word is, or the word on the street, is that the spines of this thing contain quite a lot of materials. Whoa, yes! Let's try getting myself over there. There it is! You see the sensor map? The sensor thing there? Wow. I love the sound effects on the sensor. You can find out all sorts of things using the sound effects. You could practically navigate by the sound of things using the SRV. I mean, it obviously doesn't stop you driving off cliffs. But there we go. It's life, Jim, but not as we know it. Yeah, this is a barnacle. I'm not sure if that is an official name or if that's a name that somebody coined. I suspect it's something that was coined by a player. The Frontier guys are pretty good at responding to what players do, especially players that are role-playing. Oh, listen to that sound. Listen to that. Let's go to the external mode. Yeah, that's the sound that barnacles make. I'm not sure if it's just music or if that's actually the sound they're supposed to make. Maybe they're singing. There, and there's some sort of weird symbol there that some people think is a reference to a nebula. Obviously nothing under the ground at this time. Oh, and there's a flower on this one. Yes. See that giant flower there? That is actually the meta alloys, I believe. If you shoot these, you're going to get pods like that, and that one is especially large and transparent when I come in too close. So the other ones have smaller flowers on it, but these ones have the ones with the largest flowers. Those are the ones that have the meta alloys. And there, of course, is my SRV in all its glory there. Wow, that was a kind of spooky sound there. I gotta say, the sound design on Elite is just stunning. Somebody uploaded just like a video and it was just the sounds that these things made. And I kind of put it on in the background. Just loved enjoying the sound of it. Okay, well, you can't apply any instruments to it. I've tried data analysis. It doesn't do anything useful. Really, the only thing that works is targeting them and shooting them. Now, which one are we going to do first? Let's do this one. Let's get the turret up. Organic structure. Yep. Ready. And there. See little bits flying around. Debris everywhere. Now these are the materials that we're going to use for synthesizing boosts and things like that. They're not going to help me on this particular quest, but I'm going to collect them while I'm here. There we go. Get some... whatever that is. Whatever that was, we're getting it. Let's shoot this one. And thanks to the power of editing, we can get rid of all of these ones nice and quickly until we get to, as I said, one of the big ones. And there we go. See that large bit coming out there? That is a mining fragment, which gives me meta-alloys. Meta-alloys, the sweet, sweet reward that we've been looking for Dr. I don't remember the guy's name. Doesn't matter. We do a little more shooting. Shoot a lot of these things. And so I will point out the game developers have kind of put us in a situation where the first alien life we encounter, we pretty much are being encouraged to shoot. And I will not be surprised if this is going to ultimately annoy some other alien race that will come and start teaching us teaching us some lessons. So yeah, from each barnacle I think you can get 2 units of meta-alloys and a ton of less interesting stuff. But with that I can take it back to the SRV, back to my ASP. This ASP is fitted for exploration, so it has like the advanced discovery scanner. Every module is a D-class module because that's the lightest version, except for the frameshift drive, which is an A-class frameshift, and obviously I have an SRV on board it. Oh yeah, and we have the Black Friday skin, because that makes it look pretty damn awesome. Yes, how much more black could it be? None more black. Okay, so after a bit more exploring, I didn't find any more barnacles, but it is time to take this small bounty of meta-alloys back to Obsidian Orbital, right? And again, thanks to the magic of editing, you don't actually need to watch me flying this whole distance. In fact, editing lets me do cool stuff like this. Drop out of hyperspace right in front of Obsidian Orbital. I bet you wish that was possible, huh? Oh yes. And then skip inside to landing pad number 3. And of course, put it down very gently in the middle here. There we go. Return to base, and now let's figure out what to do with the meta-alloys. So this is a community goal. What you're supposed to do with the meta-alloys is sell them to the market, right? So we get this, and we look for where they are. And there they are, under Industrial Materials, meta-alloys, 80,000, submit. And you'll notice the description is quite detailed. Meta-alloys have a complex lattice structure with large internal voids. They are cellular in nature and formed organically. They are incredibly strong, much stronger than foamed aluminium, for example, spelled correctly, you'll note. And that is what's going on out in the Pleiades. Go out, meet aliens, shoot them, and perhaps help Mr. Scientist do some research and potentially start a war. Until next time, I'm Scott Manley. Fly safe.